Hello, everybody. I hope that you are doing well. We are here with a timeless reading. Before we get started with the reading, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with the highest good. Seeing there be a focus on the heart, clearing something out, doing something that feels even heavy at this point. Okay. I'm seeing a plan that is being created. This has to do with the restoration of balance and the necessity for this. I'm seeing something that you're gathering information about at this point. Learning about, finding out about, coming to understand, learning more about for some of you. This is about what's to come for some of you, depending on when you're watching this. This is about using your light in the way that you are meant to. I'm seeing the fountain next to the Queen of Wands. So this deck that I have, it's called the Fountain Tarot, and it has every card that a normal tarot deck has, except for this one. It has an addition that is called the Fountain, and this speaks about our divinity. It speaks about our magic. It speaks about ultimate creation, but basically like what is inside of us, and it speaks about our light essentially. So what I'm seeing here is that there's a plan being made. It's about the restoration of balance. I'm hearing the cycle. I'm seeing the Strength card, so this is going to be some heavy lifting that is happening. However, it's something that you are very capable of because of the light that you have and what you intend to do with it, I'm hearing. I'm seeing the Tower on the bottom of the deck. You were made to do this with the Queen of Wands. Like, this is something that intrinsically you have that just pours out of you, that's meant to be shared and connected with. I'm hearing bringer of light. I'm also hearing something you live by example. Something that you share with those around you. Okay. I'm seeing something get to a point where it feels very, very challenging. I'm also hearing challenging to discuss. This is something about, it's like a challenging time, it's a difficult time, but it's because, so basically, when the polarity gets intense enough, it's going to feel like there's like this seesaw of energy, and it's going to feel very, very, very intense. But Ten of Swords means that we're closing, coming up to the end of when things are going to be rebalanced, okay? So this may be a plan that's coming up that can feel like there's intensity behind it, and also tens are always like, I don't think that I can bear this anymore, I'm like at my limit, but it's the end of a cycle. So that means that a new cycle is going to be beginning after this. But this could definitely be challenging to you. Maybe feeling challenging to you because of how things are meant to proceed. It can be something that feels a bit uncomfortable mentally for you, but I'm seeing you come to a point where that's all going to be over very shortly. It's just about working with yourself and integrating that. I'm seeing lemons here. I'm seeing a lot of yellow. Yeah, there's something that had really like knocked the wind out of you, but I'm seeing you preparing to step forward and out of this. It's like realizing that you don't have to feel like that anymore, because there could have been something that you were really struggling through or like even suffering with, but I'm seeing you be like, I don't want to feel like that anymore. And you could have really hit a point where you're at the point of transmutation. It's really interesting. Like, the way that I'm seeing this Ten of Swords is somebody that has been like pressed firmly all the way to the ground, like the heaviness and the density of the mind. But then the way that this Ten of Swords is, it reminds me of an organ, meaning like a piano, like an instrument type of organ. And so, and I mean, maybe that's also a play on words too, but what I'm seeing is that those little, I think it's an organ anyway, that has those little notches on it where like the air comes out. There's something that's going to be expressed here, I'm hearing, through vibration. And I'm seeing that you're to this point where there could have been something that you felt so fearful of, like walking away from, and just that this was going to feel really, really harsh or very difficult, especially mentally, for you to even like wrap your head around this. But it seems like more than anything, like mentally and emotionally, you needed to get on the same page. And now you may be realizing, wow, this thing like really doesn't have anything left for me anymore. And that's why I'm meant to move on. Like, I'm not needed here anymore. I've completed what I needed to complete. And I'm seeing something that was like the most rigorous, challenging experience for you, like something that has just been very difficult, and you could have felt like it really beat you down in many ways, and now you just get to this point where you're completely done with something. This is a completion. This is like a graduating energy, but it's a cycle that you walk away from and you're like, I don't know why I ever wanted to go into that cycle in the first place. I'm just seeing something that was really hard, which means that you learn and you gain the most from this, but I'm seeing that it was something that felt very difficult. I'm getting something about singing bowls here. There may be like cleansing, clearing, meditating, centering, grounding that you're doing. Anything like that. You could have also, once you like fully transition out of this, you're going to look back and be like, wow, I can't believe that I put myself through that for so long, but it was really necessary for you. Like, it even seems like a situation maybe needed to, you could have felt like it broke you, but I'm seeing this more so as it did enough to you to the point where you're like, I surrender. I'm surrendering this, and now then steady moving on from it. What I get too is that I'm hearing with your personality, you may have seen yourself as you went through this cycle as being someone that's like, I don't give up until it's the very end. Like, until the bitter end, I will hold on to this. And so what I'm seeing is that you kind of like milk this situation for as much as you could, meaning there's like absolutely like not even a drip of anything left that you could get from this. It's like you needed to like lick the plate clean in order to walk away from this. Like, squeeze everything out of this possible. Because, you know, sometimes we'll be in a cycle and be like, it's not for me. Like, this isn't resonating for me. And then pop out of it. For you, I'm seeing you, like, rode this to the very end before stepping out of it. But now that you see that, I don't know, it feels like something has fully cleared out at this point. And then you're like, okay, now I step away. But I'm just seeing something that was There could have been fear that had kept you in this cycle. Fear can look like many different things. It can be worrying about money, feeling like you don't have the right type of support, feeling weary of a transition, feeling like you're going to be isolated or lonely. I spent all this time doing this. Like, what am I going to do next? Like, there are so many different ways, but at the bottom of it, it always comes down to fear. And this maybe was a lesson that you connected with, understanding how we can allow fear to control us. It's like something, it was very, very important for this message to be learned in a very thorough way, as this is going to be coming up in the future and be a skill that you needed to have for the job that's expected of you moving forward, that you expect of yourself. It's not an outside source putting this on you. It's basically like things that you've signed up for to complete. You need this skill set that you've been gaining and learning, because it's going to come up again and it's going to be very relevant for you. Okay, so we walk out of the 8 of Cups, which is you stepping out now, being like, there's nothing left in this for me. I'm going to move forward. And I'm seeing the Knight of Wands here. So this is something where you're like, ooh, I'm trusting my gut now. I feel really connected. There may be, I'm not seeing space in between, but maybe there's going to be some space in between that transition. I guess depending on how quickly you feel like you bounce back. But I'm seeing you feel very invigorated and very balanced and very colorful and very ready to go forward with something you want to go forward with. You may feel like, I'm seeing you balancing something and you may feel like you're tipping backwards a little bit, but then I'm seeing you're going to be moving forward. I'm hearing that's just the nature of your light. Seeing you also very, very aligned here with your higher sense of purpose, your mission. This is going to be like a learning area is what I'm seeing. A lot of patience is going to be involved in this too, because a lot is happening. A lot of learning is happening here. A lot of acquiring information. So this, it feels like testing the water, testing things out. I'm getting something about a taste test. I'm getting something about a buffet even, but I'm seeing this be metaphorical. It's like, what are you most attracted to? Like, what do you want to go towards? It also is about figuring out like what your soul wants to express. I'm seeing this be definitely a bigger aspect of you and your light and what you came here to do as well. I'm also hearing what you want to be working on. It's something that it's going to take the time that it takes for you to figure this out, but it's all about like you learning more about you, essentially, by moving in the direction of what is inspiring to you, what is fulfilling to you, what fills you up, what you can get into the flow state with, and figuring out what that is for you and what you want to do with that as well. But I'm seeing it just be like a testing. It's like a playground and there's so many different toys on it and you get to go through and play with all of them and figure out which one is your favorite one and what you want to be doing with it. And maybe you do that for a little bit and then you switch to something else. It's all just the playground. And so it's meant to be fun. And I'm seeing this last cycle that you have been in, it did not feel like that at all. It could have felt more like you were like imprisoned in some way. And now I'm seeing it just be very free and jovial. And you could even feel like, I don't know, like this younger sense of your spirit even, like coming into your body. You may also be having Knight of Wands and Page of Swords, like these are both some masculine energies here too. Fire and air. And so you may like to get things done or like be a bit hasty, but this is something that you're going to want to take your time with to kind of like soak everything in. It's like you don't just want to play with with the first toy and be like, this is the one, unless you know for sure. You want to give yourself time to sort of figure this out so you feel most confident about your choice and your decision moving forward. I mean, if you know, trust yourself. There's still something here. It's like your guides talking to you and being like, come on, like, let's get out of this. Let's hop from like one paradigm to the next. There can be something about this still that you feel caught up in that's very hard to like turn away from completely. The devil, it has to do with our attachments and how we're seduced into some sort of illusion where we think that we're going to find what we want, but we never actually do. Like, it never materializes. But you could still be convinced that something is going to be able to give you what you want in a worldly sense. But it's like, that's what created the whole cycle last time, and look at how that ended up. So this is about transcending that aspect of the cycle. But I'm seeing something that you may be at this point really struggling with, maybe because of like doubt or lack of self-trust, or just like really identifying with your thoughts about this. This can be worry, it can be anxiety. Air energy is always going to be connected with that. Swords are connected with that. Worry, issues with the nervous system, upset stomach, nervousness, anxiety, depression, things of that nature. Just feeling like unsettled, like things aren't gonna be okay. But more than anything, I'm getting there be like a sadness, almost like, how do I break out of this? I don't want to be in this anymore, but I don't know how. So this is going to come back to figuring out what beliefs you have adopted and that have crystallized at this point, having you feel like you're stuck or trapped within this when you're actually not. But it's going to have to come back to an analyzation of your beliefs that's going to help you break out of this. Because Eight of Swords, the story with that is always, it's like this self-imposed space where we feel like we're stuck in a situation that we've actually imprisoned ourselves within that. So this is just going to take discernment and analyzing, but all on a mental level. Because you're going to find out that like you're not really stuck there. You just think that you are at this point. This does feel like an awakening of sorts. Pulling you out of like a game that you don't need to be in anymore. So I'm seeing your guides be like, this is the plan, this is what's happening, but this can feel very, it can just be bringing up a lot for you that feels very heavy, almost like, I don't even know if I can look at this, or I can deal with this, or I can conceptualize this. But your guides are saying this is how we rebalance things. This is very necessary at this point. Because something is like not, I'm hearing it's out of equilibrium for you. And this is why your guides are like, it's time to step out. And it's not going to be the easiest thing to do. But you even know at this point that you're not going to find what you need within this cycle. However, I'm seeing it still be, it's like you know this already, but there's still that hesitance. But your guides are just like, follow your gut, follow your passion, follow your light, just do that, which I'm seeing you getting like more and more understanding of like what that actually looks like for you, what you're supposed to be doing with that, how you can step into it. But then I'm seeing it be like, on the other side of that has this other thing that's sort of encasing you in here. and this feeling of, like, I'm stuck in the labyrinth, how do I get out of here? But you're going to be able to. You just need to have to start analyzing these self-limiting beliefs that are keeping you in this space. Beliefs are not concrete. There's something that can be changed, and they need to be looked at and analyzed in order for you to get out of here, because it's all in your head. You're not really stuck in there. So it's going to take like a very big shift in perspective, and you changing the channel, and then you're going to be able to do it. But it's like whatever your shadow and your ego have been whispering to you, maybe making it very hard. It's like they keep confusing the directions. Your higher self is trying to talk to you and be like, okay, you want to turn left up here, and then you want to walk for 3 blocks, and then you're going to make a right. And it's like, in the meantime, your shadow and your ego are like whispering the opposite to you, and you're getting very, very confused. So it's about figuring out what exactly you're listening to and being able to discern between those two. I'm hearing voice signatures, but it's basically like the vibration, the channel of each of them, and which one you're listening to as you're trying to maneuver through this situation that you don't want to be in anymore. Because it really seems like you're at your wit's end with this. So yeah. Alright, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.